This is why your AI tech pack for your apparel brand is actually costing you money, not filling in the gaps. When it comes to AI, it can create something that literally looks like a professional grade tech pack made by an expert designer in under 10 minutes. It can create a mockup for you. It can have a sizing chart for you. It can have material specifications. It can have material and seam specifications. And on the surface, when you look at it, if you're none the wiser, you're going to think it's perfect. You're really going to think that this is almost a work of art and every single detail that you could imagine is included in that tech pack. But I'm an experienced fashion designer, and although you might say that there's a bias behind my judgment, I've seen one too many oversights, especially in the latest AI models, the ones that are out today, when it comes to driving a core tech pack. And you have to ask yourself this: at the end of the day, I am putting my entire product range and production on the line based on the measurements and the information in this AI tech pack. Ultimately, who holds the authority and who holds the responsibility for the outcome? Because the main question that we're going to be answering in today's episode isn't whether an AI tech pack is wrong or right. It's how to perfectly balance the need for an AI tech pack to create what you need, to learn how to prompt these systems to get you the best possible results so that when you go to the factory, you have something that is well balanced, that is accurate, and that you can feel confident about. And if there is the necessity to bring in an expert, how you can better use AI to be very accurate in detail as to what you want and allow that expert to fill in the gaps to supercharge. That way, you are moving in with confidence that what you're going to get as a result is exactly what you want. So without further ado, let's get right into it. My name is Shadi. I'm the co-founder and the creative director of Fittdesign, the world's first sportswear design agency. And we've been in the industry for the last 10 years, literally helped thousands of brands. And since 2022, of course, I've seen more and more AI information be put into the mix when it comes to production. We deal with tens, if not hundreds of inquiries a month of customers that have what they think is a complete tech pack. And these are the common flaws and gaps that I see. So why should you be watching this episode? To learn how to improve your use of AI to get a better tech pack. That way, when you do approach a factory, you're able to get the benefit that you're looking to get out of using the AI in the first place without the risks. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The first glaring omission is that AI is phenomenal at creating beautiful mockups for you. Whether you're using Nana Banana, whether you're using Nana Banana Pro, whether you're using Grok, whatever image generation software that you're using to create your final mockup, AI is very good at creating something that visually looks great, but is extremely unspecific in the execution. So what does this mean? This means that it can create a beautiful legging for you, and it can show you mesh panels with a curved waistband, but it cannot give you specific dimensions and specifications. Sure, you can ask it to give you those dimensions, but they are rarely accurate and they are rarely specific to the actual product itself. So visually, we see something that looks great, but if we're designing a pair of shorts, how tall is the waistband? What's the position between the eyelets? What is the position between the stitches? What's the material of the short fabric versus the waistband fabric? The zipper, what type of zipper it is? You can then ask it and reprompt it to lay out all of those elements for you. But what I often find is when you do that, there's a lack of consistency between the initial design and the secondary output. And the more you reprompt image models like GPT Image 2, the more degraded that core mockup gets. So when the AI is creating a pair of leggings for you, it's just thinking, how do I visually represent this product? But there's a lack of specificity in the actual finished product that you're getting. Questions that you need to ask: is the fabric even possible? Can the factory manufacture? Do they have the technology, the finishing required to create sometimes these fantastical elements that are included in ChatGPT and other popular AI mockup softwares? So the mockup is just the starting point. What you need to do is be able to take that mockup and consistently expand on it to make sure that all of those details are clearly articulated and specified. Number two is that, for sure, you might be thinking, Shadi, AI is great at doing measurements. If anything, measurements is what it does best. And although it can create measurements, Just ask any AI software to give you a clear sizing chart of a men's t-shirt, an oversized fit. It'll spit out a bunch of measurements for you, flat and on body and circumference measurements of that product with any grade that you want, from extra small all the way to extra large, and it'll give you the rationale and the reasoning behind it. The challenge is understanding not the measurements, but validating the fit. Because it's one thing to see measurements with you on screen, but at the end of the day, what do those measurements look like in real life? And yes, you can then ask it to generate an image for you, to give you references of fits that are identical to this, but it'll never be a one-to-one. It'll never be the thing that it's giving you and the image that you're seeing on screen. Even if it's able to generate an image for you, it's just simply not, because if you ask it to generate a different image, if you do that enough times, you're gonna get 10 different results. That's just the way that AI works. It works off of patterns. But sometimes patterns alone are not enough to give you 100% certainty. When I say certainty, I mean what I'm seeing is what I'm going to get, and that is essential. If you thought of getting on a plane and someone told you had 90% chance of arriving to your destination, you'd be like, whoa, what's that other 10%? I want to actually arrive 100% of the time. It's that same thing. Why would you trust hundreds of pieces of your production when there is a likelihood of even a 10% chance of error? It's that same level of inconsistency that the AI creates. It can give you measurements, but there's no validation. What block pattern are we operating off of? Are we talking about an oversized fit for the US market? Are we talking about an oversized fit for the Asian market? Are we working off of a block pattern that the factory already has? Oh, if not, then does the factory even understand, or does the AI even understand what measurements a factory might be starting with? Do they have that context? Do they have that ability to integrate with the real world? That's where if you lack the knowledge, the experience, no matter how much AI you use, there's still going to be that production, that technical, that final scale element of you being in the real world that still needs to be filled in, that you won't be able to fill in, not because you don't know, it's because you don't know to ask those questions. So this is the biggest challenge with the measurements that you get off of AI, versus being able to build a digital pattern using a software like Flow 3D, being able to see the pattern in front of you, understanding the measurements, seeing it in real time on a 3D mockup in front of you, and adjusting the sizing as you go along to be able to perfect the fit. That's the difference between AI getting these static measurements and asking the AI to interpret what a visual would look like for you, versus having pinpoint precision control over the finished measurements and being able to see how they reflect on an actual mannequin that you can match for your size, whether it's a US small, US medium, US large, in real time. What do you think is more effective at perfecting that fit long term? Next up is that a factory cannot purchase a fabric range. I see this so much, especially with people that are using AI for the first time in order to specify things. The AI will never give you, unless you prompt it, give you specifics, because the AI does not want to own the outcome, right? It's very, very dangerous for the AI to tell you, do this 100% no matter what. It gives you a range and allows you to pick. It's almost giving you the data, and it's allowing you to come in with your finishing touches and then picking. So I tend to see this a lot. Use an interlock fabric of a range of 220 to 280 GSM for this pair of leggings. If you look at that range, that's a very common range that I see. A legging at a 220 GSM fabric is going to fit and feel completely different than that at a 280 GSM. So what range do you pick? Then you might say, okay, I picked the middle. But if you're going for a lightweight summer legging, then you may have very well wanted to be at 210 or 205. Because the AI lacks context and you sometimes don't know to tell it specific things, it's not going to give you that finished result that you want. The information that it gives you sounds technical, but it's very, very open-ended. And it's expecting you to understand where to close the loop. And if you're expecting the factory, well, you might as well not have provided them with any information altogether. Because if you ask the factory, oh, my range is 220 to 280, what do you think? It goes back to that initial thing of, I have a legging, what GSM should I make it? You're still asking the factory to fill in the gaps, versus you coming in, having a conversation. Is this a summer legging? Is this an all-season legging? Is this legging going to be used in the gym? Is it going to be used for running? Okay, then we should have this GSM. Are you going to be offering lighter colors? Are you going to be offering more darker colors? Then we should be using this GSM. These are all questions that contextualize the result or contextualize the conversation to get a result that's specific to your customer avatar, to your brand, to the season that you're in, to the colors you're going to launch, to the type of effect you want to have on the finished customer. So make sure that if you are using the AI, you contextualize the conversation. You tell it who the product is for, where it's going to be used, so that it can give you specifics, not just ranges. I also see huge inconsistency and a lack of clarity in construction decisions. Again, because AI doesn't want to own the outcome, it'll give you vague suggestions unless you ask it and you prompt it. And again, you may not know when and where to prompt it and to ask it to do specific things. It'll give you these vague, open-ended suggestions about, use reinforced seams for added durability. And then if you don't know to ask, which specific seam? It might give you a bunch of seams, or it might give you one seam, but is that seam going to work for your garment? It might give you a flat lock seam, but maybe you don't want flat lock seams. Maybe you don't want exposed stitching. You don't know what a flat lock seam, you don't know what it looks like, then you have to prompt it again. Give me that actual flat lock seam. And then you're already 4 or 5 different conversations in, and only then are you able to generate an image. And even in that image, it may not be accurate. There may be inconsistencies between that entire conversation that you have, and it's just taking in the main essentials. Versus having that human conversation where you're able to immediately, this is the product I want, these are the suggestions. That's what it's going to look like, let's fix that. And there's a context that's being built up that is almost real time, as opposed to you needing to know when to ask for context or when to clarify, which most times, more often than not, you will not know. So the missing construction decisions when it comes to using reinforced seams or adding a premium zipper. Is it going to be a metal zipper? Is it going to be a nylon zipper? Is it going to be a plastic molded zipper? If so, what gauge of zipper is it going to be? What stitch clutch? What thread? Are we using a polyester thread? Are we using a cotton thread? Are we using a lock stitch? Are we using a cover stitch? Why are we using any of these stitches? Is it just using a complicated stitch for the sake of the stitch, or are we using a stitch with more stretch so that it can allow the garment to flex and to move? What does something like ensure a smooth finish for XYZ mean? What does smooth finish mean? How do we get that smooth finish? How smooth is it going to be? Is it going to be too smooth to the point where it's going to feel too soft on the garment and it's going to pill, it's going to wear away? These are all questions that are arising every single time a lack or an inconcrete decision is made. And last but not least, my biggest issue, and I've touched on this a couple times, is that when you use AI that no one owns the outcome. When you go to a doctor, part of why doctors get paid so much is that you are trusting their judgment throughout the years of schooling, of residency, of specialization that they've done, that when they give you a medical suggestion, that they are putting their reputation behind that. They're putting their license sometimes behind the line to get you the outcome. They are responsible for the prescription. They are responsible for the outcome. When you go and you create an AI tech pack and you're potentially spending thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars on a production run, who owns the outcome if the product comes back wrong? If there's an issue with that durable stitching that it had suggested or had kept open-ended, or that wide range of GSM that you allow the factory to pick for you. This is my biggest issue with AI, is that it sounds like it's being helpful, but ultimately when push comes to shove, when you are operating in the real world, it doesn't own the outcome. It's you who's going to own the outcome. This is why building a product and getting that professional help with someone that has the authority, has the experience, can give you that peace of mind and is a way less risky decision than whatever investment that you might make into building with that person. Or whether that's you, whether you learn, at least you own the outcome. You say, I made that decision, I'm going to own the outcome and I'm going to learn from it, versus not understanding why the AI took specific decisions because it sounded smart on the surface, but in execution, you didn't know where it fell flat. Versus you having a very intentional approach. Okay, I specified this durable seam, I did the research for it, I kind of went through, I understood the different options, but I picked this, now I know that that's not correct. Versus just asking the AI, what is the most durable seam? It gives you, and you go on from there. So guys, if you're looking to use AI to the best of your ability and you want to learn how to build a product based on your existing idea. Perhaps you already have an AI tech pack, but you've been hesitant on it and you've been waiting for the right opportunity to say, okay, I have an idea of what I want, but now I want someone to help me take it over the line to really make sure that every single thing in this design document is fleshed out and is aligned with my vision. And I want to speak to a real human that's going to be able to give me real-time feedback. You can check the link in the description and you can apply to work with us one-on-one. I'll get back to you within literally 5 minutes with a clear production roadmap. And if you have a tech pack, I can do an audit of it to see where the gaps are and what you need to fill. Guys, I say this from the very bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Fittdesign TV. Until the next week's episode, stay awesome.